So let's talk singing popular music as a classically trained singer. One of the things I love about singing out at sea is that as a part of my job, I need to perform in many different styles of music because the goal is to try to sing something that's going to appeal to everybody. But as a classically trained singer, pop music has never been my strongest suit. It's never been my forte. And so I've had to learn, how to do it at least sufficiently for this environment. So there are three things basically that I do that I find very helpful. I focus on less resonance, I focus on less airflow, and I change my diction. In terms of resonance, so as a classical singer, you need to be a very strong resonating body because you need to project acoustically. You're traditionally not given amplification with the use of a mic. Whereas as a pop singer, the style is such that it is designed to be sung with amplification. So there's a lot less sound that's required. And very often, the biggest pop voices that you hear, it's all being done through amplification. The sound is actually very small if you hear it acoustically up close and personal. Classical singers also have to be really mindful about dialing back airflow. So we're accustomed to, say, using 8 out of 10 in terms of airflow, air pressure in order to produce a lot of sound. But as a pop singer, that actually can inhibit your ability to make the sound required. Too much breath pressure combined with bringing up the chest voice can cause a lot of tension, a lot of pressure on the vocal folds. So less air movement is more, less air is more. And as a classical singer, it can be really hard to trust that, but it's a really important thing to learn to be able to do, that less is more when it comes to pop singing. One of the tricks that I learned recently from Patrick Diction in New York, shout out to Patrick, hi, that helps me with both these things, decreasing the resonance and decreasing the airflow, is thinking about singing above the tongue. Yeah, just try that, singing above the tongue. Next time you're trying to shift from a more classical sound with a lot of deeper resonance and a slightly depressed larynx, and you want your larynx to sit in a slightly higher, more natural position, singing above the tongue makes a world of difference. And the third thing that goes a really long way in helping you sing pop music as a classically trained singer is thinking about diction. Because as classically trained singers, again, because we're trained to cut over an orchestra without amplification, our diction tends to be really intense. But the moment you're on a microphone, you need so much less. And using diction that is more stylistically appropriate helps you get into the groove of the pop piece. It just, to the listener, it sounds a lot more contemporary and correct. If you take a more heightened diction and impose it upon a pop song, it kind of takes the audience member, the listener, out of the song a little bit because the style of diction doesn't quite line up with the music and perhaps what is being said, depending on the piece. All right, so those are my tips as a classical singer who's got to sing some pop. I hope they can be helpful to you too. Happy singing, everyone. Peace.